Hello. Sorry, we had to turn the lights off because you can't really see our presentation with the lights on, so we decided to cut the lights. Here's my partner, and make it where everybody can see it. Today we're going to talk to you about the muscular system. As you can see, it's produced by Colton Haley, and so we're just going to go over the basic functions.
Okay, so the muscular system works with the skeletal system to help control movement so that we can do just basic daily activities like walking, talking, sitting, standing, eating, and like digesting food. Okay. The muscles also help to maintain posture and circulate blood and other substances throughout the body so that we can live. And muscles make up more than half of the weight of the human body, which is why people that are more muscular weigh more, because muscle weighs more than fat.
Okay. So our muscles, we have two types of muscles: voluntary muscles and involuntary muscles. Voluntary muscles basically means like muscles that you can control. Example would be like your biceps, your triceps, your pectorals, major and minor. Your involuntary muscles would be muscles that you can't control and you don't really think about controlling. Example would be like your inner organ muscles, like your stomach or your esophagus, or intestines, things that push food through and you don't have to tell your body to. Muscles are also classified by their shape, size, and direction. And if you have like your deltoids, they'll have like a triangular shape. You've got other types of muscles like your ninth rib on the side of your chest runs along the entire anterior length of your scapula and just has like a distinct like seesaw look to it. And then your rhombus has like a diamond type shape to it. And then you got the directions of your muscle fibers are very important to identify each muscle. In your abdominis region, there is several sets of wide, flat muscles, which is like six-pack. Your muscles, whole fiber, will run like straight up and down, and then you have muscles that run transversely, like left to right, and that is runs running at an angle at your obliques. As like you exercise, they say like the obliques are among the hardest muscles to develop to like achieve your six-pack abs.
Okay, so next we're going to go over the three types of muscle. First one is the cardiac muscle, which obviously is in the heart, and that's the only place it's found, and it helps the heart to beat. And then there's the smooth muscle, which is in some of your inner organs, which it's involuntary, so you can't control it, and so is the cardiac muscle. The skeletal muscle is the only kind of muscle that you actually can control, and those are the most common ones that you like lift weights to get bigger and that help you with your movement.
Okay, the first one we're going to talk about is your cardiac muscle. And your cardiac muscle, like she said, is only found in the heart, and it is responsible for pumping blood throughout your body. The heart's natural pacemaker is made up as a cardiac muscle that sends signals all over your body and then makes your muscles contract, or makes your muscle contract, like your cardiac muscle tissue controlled involuntarily. And so your hormones are signals from the brain to adjust the rate of contractions, and your muscle stimulates itself to contract. And it just is part of the whole muscle tissues over here is of the heart, a thick middle layer between the outer epidermis layer and inner endocarmic layer.
The second kind is smooth muscle, which once again is found in the inner organs, and it's involuntary. It doesn't help with movement or anything like that. An example would be food moving through your body. It has to get pushed through your stomach and through your intestines. And smooth muscles can also be called visceral. which are found inside of organs such as the stomach, intestines, and even blood vessels. It's called smooth muscle because unlike skeletal muscle, it doesn't have the banded appearance like the skeletal or cardiac muscle does. It's the weakest of all the muscle tissues, and the visceral muscles send signals to contract to move substances through the organ. Because visceral muscle is controlled by the unconscious part of the brain, it is known as involuntary muscle, and it can't be controlled by the conscious mind.
Okay, the last one is your skeletal muscle, which is the most common in most of your muscles throughout your body. This one is the voluntary controlled one, and it is attached to your body by tendons that hold each muscle onto your bones. And it is found in the human body, of course, controlled every action that a person consciously performs. Most skeletal muscles are attached to two bones or across the joints, so the muscles serve as like moving parts of the bones closer to each other.
And next we have a short video that we're going to show y'all that is just covering the basics of the muscle system and the types of muscles so that y'all can get a little better understanding.
Oh yeah, that's me.
Video.
Sorry.
Be careful, you may hurt yourself. Do you think this man has more muscles than you do? You are wrong. Both he and you have the same number of muscles. Every human has 600 muscles. Even kids have 600 muscles. Do you know what kind of muscles there are in the body? Do you want to know about the muscles in the body? Okay. Start by taking a rubber band in your hand. Good. Muscles are like rubber. They are very elastic. All the movement in your body happens due to muscles. You breathe, digest, speak, and walk, all because of your muscles. Now, do you want to know about the types of muscles in the human body? Okay. Muscles in the human body are part of the muscular system. There are three types of muscles: smooth muscles, cardiac muscles, and skeletal muscles. First, let us talk about smooth muscles. Smooth muscles are also called involuntary muscles. Involuntary means they keep working by themselves. You don't need to put out an effort to make them work. See this fan? Oh, see? It started working without pressing the button. That's an involuntary action. Smooth muscles also work without any action from your side. Smooth muscles are found in our intestines, stomach, bladder, and other organs. They are found in between the outer covering and the inner lining. So they are sandwiched between two walls of these organs. Look at the sandwich. Imagine one bread slice to be the outer covering of your stomach, and the other slice as the inner lining of your stomach. The cheese inside represents the smooth muscles. Smooth muscles in the wall of the stomach and intestines help to push food down into your digestive system. Similarly, smooth muscles form what is called the sphincter, which along with your bladder helps to control your pee. Now, let's move on to the cardiac muscles. Cardiac means of the heart. Cardiac muscles are also a kind of involuntary muscle, as they also work without any action from your side. The heart is a cardiac muscle. It contracts and relaxes and sends blood into your whole body. Oh, you want me to stop? Do you want to ask something? Oh, you want to know which kinds of muscles there are in your arms? Okay, wait. Now we're going to talk about these in particular. The third type of muscles is what are called voluntary muscles. These are under your control. That means you can actively move these as you want. See? you can control these. These muscles are attached to your bones. There are small threads, like tissue. They tie your muscles to your body. Your bone movement also happens due to these muscles. See, at this catapult, rubber is tied to a wooden fork by a thread. Tendons are similar to threads, and muscles are similar to rubber. To tie muscles to bones, you need tendons. Skeletal muscles are controlled by our nervous system. When we want to move them, motor nerves carry a message to the brain, and the brain sends a message back to skeletal muscles telling them to act. Now, let's see the major skeletal muscles of our body. These are the pectorals, biceps, gluteus maximus, hamstring, calves, quadriceps, and triceps. You may know about muscles now, but that does not mean that you can pick up these weights. To pick up weight, you need to make your skeletal muscles strong. You need to exercise. You need to drink milk and eat a balanced diet.
Now you're going to W.
Okay, sorry. That video is just kind of to go over the basic knowledge of what we just went over, and it just kind of explains it a little bit more in depth. And I know it's kind of cheesy, but it really helped us like understand the concepts. Then we go on to talk about contraction, which is mostly like voluntary when you're working out. Like, say we've been talking about biceps, you have your weight here and you pull up, and the top here is contraction because you're making your muscles smaller and contracting it while you're lifting. It's a voluntary muscle controlled by your central nervous system, and your brain will send signals to your nervous system to the motor neurons of your cerebral muscle fibers. Involuntary muscles such as like the heart and smooth muscles result of a non-conscious brain activity or a process in the body to the muscle itself.
So now we have relaxation, which once your muscle contracts, the space between the motor end plate and the fiber releases an enzyme which ends the stream of action. This causes the muscle to stop contracting and begin relaxing. When relaxation begins, the opposite muscle contracts and pulls the original contracting muscle back into place. It's essential that you give your muscles a break after working them out because they'll have time to heal and grow. For the expansion to happen, it's also vital that while your muscles are recuperating, you eat more sources of protein so that they have the right kind of energy while you're working out so that you don't get tired. According to Dr. Merkin, the additional amount of nutrient enters your muscle and helps them not only to recover but also to enlarge.
Okay, the ways to keep your muscle system healthy is discontinue exercise if you're injured, and this is just to prevent injury further. Like if you kind of tweak something in your legs or kind of feel like it's pulled a little bit, like take off for a couple days and kind of let it relax, recuperate and rebuild. Because if you keep working it out, you might strain it or pull it or tear it even farther, which would be terrible because then you might have to take surgeries and everything. You need to always make sure you warm up and stretch before you work out. This is going to have your muscles already warm, and so you don't go into an exercise cold. It makes you cool down after you stretch, just so your muscles can, relax again and they won't be, hot or heated up. And make sure you work out different muscle groups just to maintain even balance, because you don't want to work out your chest all the time and then your back muscles be weak, then your body will be very unbalanced.
And continuing with keeping your muscle system healthy, you have to maintain a recommended weight. That way, if you're too heavy, your muscles might not be able to do everything that they should, and it'll have a real impact on your body. And you need to bend your knees whenever you lift heavy objects so that you don't strain anything, like in your back or in your legs, and so that you can stay healthy. You need to eat and drink healthy foods that are rich in proteins and carbohydrates so that you can have the energy that your muscles need to continue working at the rate that you're using them. And you need to sleep 7 to 8 hours every day just so that your muscles get that rest time and have time to recover. Okay, next we have some questions to see what we learned. So what is the difference between voluntary and involuntary muscles?
Well, voluntary muscles are muscles you can control and that are part of the skeleton system. Example would be like your biceps. Involuntary muscles are muscles that you don't control and are involuntary, like smooth and cardiac. And this would be, the example would be like your muscles of your inner organs.
And what are the 3 main types of muscle, and can you provide an example of where each one is found?
Yes, your cardiac muscle would be your heart, and that's the one that's working 24/7. Your smooth muscle would be your like stomach muscles or your intestines to help digest and push food through. And then your skeleton muscle would be like your biceps, triceps, or pectoral major or minor.
Good. Okay, the last one. What is the strongest muscle in the human body?
The strong muscle in the human body, probably your heart muscle.
Actually, I found an article on Live Science that says that they haven't decided on which one is the strongest because there's different ways that you can measure it. But they think that the one that can exert the most force is the calf muscle, because without it, we wouldn't be able to stand or walk or just do different daily activities. But then they say that it should go to the one that exerts the most pressure, which is the masseter, which is your jaw muscle, because it can achieve a bite strength of 975 pounds. And then others argue that the muscles that are used in childbirth are the most powerful, but you only use those when you're giving birth to a child, so they're really not relevant all the time. And then when it comes to versatility, they say that the tongue should be the strongest muscle because its elasticity and forcefulness gives us the ability to speak and eat and do everything we need to. But then they say if slow and steady wins the race, then the heart would be the strongest because it's constantly beating and it keeps beating for the rest of our life.
It's gotta be the heart. You wanna know what makes me smile? Face muscles. A little comic humor in there. And then
we have our works cited. And that is the muscle system.
thanks.